Testing Nigene mic. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have Marvin announce. I'm going to hit the concho, or want me to hit the concho first? Okay. I'm going to go hit the concho because for our last two live participants. Pessimistic. Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Butsu, Namu Butsu, Namu. I will begin with the tolling of the calling bell of May. Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu.
Good morning. Welcome to today's Sunday service. My name is Marvin Inouye. Today's service is being officiated by Reverend Gregory Gibbs. Our organist is Kumagai. Our videographer is Alan Goto, who is recording today's service for live streaming. Words to today's sutra and gathas will be shown on the TV. Thank you for attending today's service. On the first Sunday of each month, we observe a monthly memorial service known as Shotsuki Hoyo, in honor of those members of our Buddhist community that have passed away during the respective month in which this service is being held. Sensei will now read the names of those loved ones who passed away in the month of October, in whose memory this morning's service is being conducted. For those individuals observing today's service in recognition of your deceased family members, please come forward as Sensei reads the name of your departed loved one and burn incense in their honor. come forward as and in honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you very much. And we're okay with the cameras for me to read now? I started over here. You didn't expect me here. Thanks to Marvin for being our chairperson this morning. Thanks to Kathy Kumagai for playing organ. To Alan Goto and Bobby Fukumoto for doing our tech support. And thanks to all of you for being here. I will then read the names for our October Shotsuki, those we remember who have passed in the month of October. Firstly, Fujikawa George Masayoshi. Fujikawa Sekino. Fujiwara Kazue. Fukuyama Margaret. Fukumoto Minoru. Hamano Nitaro. Hida Miki. Hatta Ichi. Hatta Masayuki. Hatta Matsuzo. Inaba Kisaku. Inouye Lin Reiko. Iwata Jinsuke. Iwata Morojiro. Kawabata Kiyoshi. Kawamoto Ihe. Kikawa Shizue. Kiriyama Takashi Tak. Konishi Tajiro. Masumoto Denbe. Masumoto Sam. Masumoto Tameyo. Matsumoto Fukujiro. Morioka Yasutaro. Moriyama Baby. Miho Shizue. Nakano Hanichi. Nakashimo Yoshiko. Nishikawa Chieko. Nishimoto John Osamu. Nishimura Chiyoko. Nishimura Noboru. Okumoto Hino. Okura Reverend Kensho. Omura Ayako. Onaga Ryoe. Onaga Ryoi. Oshita Shigematsu. Otani Kakichi. Otani Yoshiko. Sato Tome. Shida Etsuji. Shinmoto Sokichi. Shoga Hatsue. Sogi Hatsue. Sugasawara Chiyoko. Sugihara Masaharu. Tanigawa Sakutaro. Toenaka Tane. Tomotani Nobuko. Uchiyama Sakae. Uetanaka Kiyomi. Watanabe Suma. Watari Kunsaku. Yamada Roy. Yamanaka Ryuji. Yamane Genkichi. Yamasaki Etsuzo. Yamasaki Toyo. Yokoyama Noriko. Yonesawa Yoshio Norman. Yusa Saku. Yusa Mago Ichi. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
Will the congregation now stand for opening meditation? As the Buddha is the great king of the Dharma, he can preach to all people as he wishes. Buddha appears in the world to bless the people, To save them from suffering, he preaches the Dharma, but the ears of people are dulled by greed and they are inattentive. Buddha saw this world of delusion was really a burning house, no reference intended to what's going on in Northern California. So he turned from it and found refuge and peace in the quiet forest. There, out of his great compassion, he called to us, "This world of change and suffering belongs to me. All these ignorant, heedless people are my children. I am the only one who can save them from their delusion and misery." Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. You may be seated.
Those who wish to, please join us in the chanting of the Juseige. Busetsu Daimuryo Jukyo Juseige Gagon Sho Thegan Ishimu Jodo Shigan Hu Mandoku Seifudyo Shogak Gao Muryoko Uidai Seishu Uthai Sho Bingu Seifudyo Shogak Ashijo Bundo Yoshotyo Jipo Kukyo Mi Shomona Seifudyo Shogak Ryokujin Shonen Joeshu Bongyo Shigumu Jodo Isho Teninshi Jinriki and Daiko Ushomu Taido Shoujo San Kumyo Kosaishu Yakunan Kaihichi Eigen Meshi Kon Moan Teisokusho Akudo Tudatten Shumon Koto Jo Mandoku Iyoro Jippo Nichigatten Shujuki Tenko Ontugen Ishu Kai Hodo Kosei Kuroku Jo Dai Shuchu Sappo Shishiku Kuyo Ithayabuten Kusokushu Tokuhon Kanne Yoman Tokui Sangayo Yobuten Mugechi Tudatten Mi Husho Gangaku Eriki Toshi Sai Shoson Shiganya Koka Daisen no Kando Toku Sho Tenin Tochin Myoke Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. Ganiya Shikudoku Byodo Sei Isai Don Monai Shin Namanda, Buddhamanda, Namanda, 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 Buddhamanda. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
Will the Sangha now rise for gatha?
We will move on to our devotional reading, the three treasures. Shall I do that? You want to do that, Marvin? Want me to do it? Here, I'll do it. Okay. This was the topic of my Dharma message last week, those of you who were here. So now it'll be the topic of our devotional reading, and then there'll be a different, perhaps, topic for the Dharma message. Those who wish to, again, we're on page 10 or the monitor, the three treasures. Those who wish to, please join me. How rare and wondrous it is to have been born into human life, and now I live it. How rare and wondrous it is to be able to listen to the Buddha Dharma, and now I am able to hear it. If I do not transcend the world of delusion in this life, when will I ever attain spiritual liberation? May I, along with the entire Sangha, with sincere heart and mind, rely on that which can be truly relied on in this life, the three treasures. I rely on the Buddha. May I, along with all sentient beings, awaken to the great path with my entire being and discover the highest aspiration, which is to become a Buddha. I rely upon the Dharma. May I, along with all sentient beings, deeply reflect on the meaning of the sutras and gain wisdom that is as deep and vast as the ocean. I rely on the Sangha. May I, along with all sentient beings, become one Sangha of life, able to move forward and live with a dynamic spirit that is hindered by nothing. The unsurpassed, deep, and wondrous Dharma, even in millions of kalpas, is extremely difficult to encounter. But now I am able to experience and embrace it. May I come to understand and revere the true meaning of the Tathagata. Namu Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you very much. Please be seated. Well, again, good morning, and thank you for participating in this Shotsuki Hoyo, our monthly memorial service for the month of October of 2021. Our service is dedicated to those temple members, family members, and friends whose names I read a little earlier. Those honored in this month's Shotsuki Hoyo service for October include my wife's father, Reverend Kensho Okura. On the first Sunday of next month, my mother's name will be read at the Shotsuki service, along with the names of some of your mothers. The month after that, in December, at the Shotsuki Hoyo service, the first Sunday in December, my father's name will be read, along with the names of some of your fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, cousins, and friends. Losing our loved ones to death is something we all share. It's a sadness we all share, and yet it unites us. It connects us. These were important people whose names we read earlier. They made it possible for us to be here. It is meaningful that we read their names aloud while holding a service in their honor. These people deserve to be remembered. They deserve our respect and our affection. As I mentioned last week, I spoke to you about the three treasures of the truth, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, which was the basis for the devotional reading we just heard about 5 minutes ago. This morning, I'm speaking about the importance of believing in karma. In fact, right now, I am speaking about karmic law on YouTube, on another channel, for the Arizona Buddhist Temple, under Dharma in the Desert. So, if I were to talk to you about the same topic, I could be talking about the same thing at the same time in two different places and say something different. But that sounds more like politics than religion, so I won't do that. Instead, this morning, I wish to speak to you about the intrinsic value of kindness and acceptance. If you want to hear about the three treasures further, go on YouTube later. Dharma in the Desert. Not everything that is valuable is intrinsically valuable, right? Some of you know, I'm fond of these pens, these 4-color pens. I have these all over the place. They go with me everywhere, Now, these are used for writing, right? For writing. But we've all seen the Avengers movies where Tony Stark just goes, "Via," and all these formulas appear in the air and a diagram here. Who needs a pen, right? We'll be able to do that. Well, we won't, but Ren will be able to do that one day. The younger people, they'll do that one day. Who needs pens, right? Well, they still have other purposes, right? Remember these things? They're still very good for getting your yeah, see? So it still has a function. It's not useless. It still has a function. It's not useless, but you guys have a machine that'll play this? I don't. I threw most of my cassettes away because I knew there'd be no machine to play them, So one day, this will be completely useless, right? But right now, it's a valuable item to me. That's the truth about most things. They're relatively useful under certain circumstances. Now, this could be a weapon, That's not James Bond stuff. It's actually comes from The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, John Le Carré. He mentions that when a secret agent walks into the room, everywhere he looks, he sees what could be a weapon, right? You see it all over. That's true if you're into that kind of thing. If you're into security stuff, you're always going to have something more Jobuda and dangerous than this, but it could be a weapon. Things have a purpose, and that makes them valuable, but some things are intrinsically valuable, not my pens. As much as I love these pens, as much as I love them, they're useful for writing at this point in human history. They're not intrinsically valuable. Kindness is intrinsically valuable. Acceptance is intrinsically valuable. Acceptance of others. Kindness makes the world better for humans and other animals. Kindness is intrinsically valuable. We don't need to do something with it for it to be worthwhile. If you don't do something with this, what good is it? While being in and of itself valuable, kindness is also useful. Someone once said, I tried to look this up, I thought it was Albert Schweitzer, but I could not find this under Albert Schweitzer, but somebody once said, if you are consistently kind to someone, it is very difficult for them to be unkind to you. That's true. I don't know if Schweitzer, somebody said that once, and that's true. In other words, kindness can be useful. You can use it. However, this is true that if you're nice to people, they treat you better. That is true. Most people, most of the time, treat you pretty well if you're very nice to them. That's true. Of course, if you're being kind to them to get something out of them, you're not really being that nice. But you know what? Everyone's still better off than if you were to be mean. Kindness and inclusion are such positive realities, intrinsically valuable. It's better to pretend to have them than to not have them. Even pretended kindness is better than meanness. Even a pretense of acceptance is better than outright rejection. Living with kindly intentions is very fundamental for Buddhists. It's a fundamental Buddhist value to live with kindly hopes and intentions towards others. Buddhists center on kindness by thinking certain sorts of thoughts and not others, by encouraging ourselves to continue certain thoughts and not to continue other thoughts. All life is one is a reflection that we embrace. When you think deeply about this, the oneness of all life, you will become kinder if you realize what it really means. In Tani Sho, Article 5, Shinran Shonin tells us that all beings have been or are or will be in the future my mother, my father, my sister, my brother. Now do you think that's literally true? You guys know. I think it's literally true. I believe that's literally true. Even if you don't think it's literally true, that's how Buddhists look at the world. Everybody you meet is your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your weird auntie or your strange cousin, but they're not foreign. They're connected to you. Is it true that everyone, all of you have been my relatives in a past life or will be in the future? I kind of think that way, but you don't need to, because at a mythical, metaphorical, symbolic, it is deeply true. If we hold kindly intentions, does that guarantee that we'll be positive contributions to this world? No, it doesn't guarantee it. Someone once asked me about the influence we leave after we die. You don't want to ask me questions like I'm a little bit pessimistic about the human being. And so what I told him was, well, the influence I leave when I die, well, 99% of it will be bad. You want to talk about that 1%, the good things I taught my sons? Well, yeah, there is that, and then there's that 98% of negativity I poured into this life. If I want to look at how I affected this world. But this is why I emphasize kindly intent. It may not play out. I may not be able to act on my kindness, but at least I can have the intention to be kind. The intention to be kind is important, and it results sometimes in kind actions. The results will be mixed if we try to hold kind thoughts and try not to hold mean thoughts. Sometimes it will bear fruit. It is good to be kind, and it will probably help beef up that 1% of the influence that some of us are leaving behind us. Maybe it'll be 98.5% negative influence to leave and 1.5% good. The Buddhist religion recognizes that we all view life through the distorting prism of our egocentricity, of our self-centeredness, through the constricting window of our finite intelligence. We can't just drop our limited self-centered perspective first and then see the truth as it is. We have to start from where we are. Self-centered, unfair, always viewing events in a way that favors us, favors our perspective, our ideology. We must use imperfect philosophical expressions, imperfect ideas like the oneness of life. The symbols, the icons, the metaphors, the analogies, the parables used in Buddhist tradition all point to the truth imperfectly. Our metaphors point towards the truth. Somewhat unsteadily, our analogies unveil the deep truth of our lives. Trying to know the ultimate truth about our lives without relying on allegories, metaphors, philosophical propositions, it would be like trying to look at bacteria and viruses by removing the telescope, the microscope, right? Microscope, that's getting in my way. I want to see it for itself. No, you need the microscope to see the bacteria and the viruses. You can't see them with your naked eye. The tool does not necessarily distort, just account for it. You need the microscope to see the bacteria. You need a concept of the oneness of life to appreciate what this life really is. You need the concept that everyone you meet is your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. to feel what is real and true about us. Instead of trying to pry off our self-centered perspective, instead of trying to leap beyond our finite intelligence, we just use partially correct philosophical principles, partially useful metaphors, partially appropriate analogies. And Marvin mentioned one of the most basic analogies we have, the burning house, that the Buddha discovered this is a burning house. You know this analogy from the Lotus Sutra. There's actually a translation question. I'll mention it's not important, but you got the three kids playing in the house. The house is burning down. This is all of us. But they want what they want. They want what they want. And the one little boy, he wants a cart drawn by a goat. He likes goats. You want me out of this house? It's a goat-drawn cart. Okay, so father says, I got a goat-drawn cart out here for you. Okay, so he comes out. The other boy likes deers. He likes these deer-drawn cart like Santa Claus, reindeers. So I got the reindeer cart for you. Come on out. That's what he's only coming out for the reindeer cart. You tell him it's a reindeer cart. He comes out. The third boy wants a cart drawn by an ox, and he tells him, come on out. I got an ox-drawn cart for you. What do they all get? They all get something better than they thought. So one translation says they all got a great white ox. Another translation that I read just says they got an ox. In other words, the one boy, the father told him the truth. You want an ox cart, I'll give it to you, but you all need the ox cart. I got to tell him he's going to get the deer cart or he won't come out. If I don't tell her she's getting the goat cart, she won't come out. Goat cart, deer cart, ox cart, really just one cart, really just one benefit, enlightenment. We all get the same payoff, enlightenment, but it's described to us differently because we cannot appreciate it all the same way. The burning house is true. The goat cart, the deer cart, the ox cart, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I get a great white ox cart or just a regular ox cart, but I'm going to get a cart out of this. I'm going to get another vehicle out of my ministry yet. Now, I'm moving towards closing this Dharma talk, I really am, but I want to return to the theme that kindness and acceptance are intrinsically valuable. Acceptance of others and kindness are intrinsically valuable. Besides kindness and acceptance, what else is intrinsically valuable? Life. Life is intrinsically valuable. Your life, my life, the life of the stray cats, the life of the bees that get poisoned in everybody else's yard and come to our yard to die. Life is valuable. We must nurture it as best we can everywhere we see it. In closing, soon, let me repeat a column I've told you before. A classic case of teaching from China about 1,000 years ago. About 1,000, 1,500 years ago, the Chinese teachers used to all have like their favorite teaching they gave over and over. And this one teacher, his teaching was, the whole world in the three directions, the whole world in the 10 directions is one bright pearl. So this teaching he always gives, so he's walking through the courtyard at the temple one day, and there's a young monk there, and the young monk comes up to him and says, hey, Sensei, you're always saying the whole world is like one bright pearl. What does that mean? And the teacher says, the whole world in the 10 directions is one bright pearl. What is the need to understand the meaning of this? So then, like 3 weeks later, the great teacher encounters the boy again, the young monk. And he asks the young monk, he says, so have you thought about this? What does this mean, that the whole world in the 10 directions is one bright pearl? And that the student says, the whole world in 10 directions is one bright pearl. What's the need to know the meaning of this? And the teacher gets kind of mad, having had his own teaching just repeated to him. And he says, you are like a demon pacing back and forth in a cave buried beneath a black mountain. That's a pretty negative thing to say to somebody. You're like a demon pacing back and forth in a cave buried beneath a black mountain. But commenting later on this, Dogon Zenji and other teachers have said, even a demon pacing back and forth in a cave buried beneath a black mountain is one bright pearl. These friends and family members who we honor today at Shotsuki Hoyo, they were bright pearls. Each of you is one bright pearl. Thank you for being part of our community. I will close the Dharma message portion of the service as usual by saying the Buddha's name a few times. Please join me as you wish. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namu Amida Butsu, 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 Namu Amida Butsu.
Thank you for that message, Sensei. Will Gatha please rise for closing meditation? Sangha, I mean. The work of the Buddha is to manifest in all affairs and on all occasions the pure essence of Dharmakaya. So Buddha's mercy and compassion flow out from the Dharmakaya in endless life and boundless light, bringing salvation to all. In an epidemic, I'm going to change it, in a pandemic, he appears as a healing physician, and in war, he preaches forbearance and mercy for the suffering people, for those who believe that things are everlasting. He preaches transiency and uncertainty for those who are proud and egoistic. He preaches humility and self-sacrifice for those who are entangled in the web of worldly pleasures. He reveals misery to the world. He reveals misery of the world. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. And now for one of the most important parts of our service, you may sit down. Announcements.
Yeah, thank you, Marvin. This is one thing that's happening in Catholic churches, Protestant churches, synagogues, every place. 10 o'clock Sunday morning, 10:45 announcements. Comes to be announcements. We all do this. So I just want you to know, I'm going to be going to get the flu shot over at PJCI in about 20 minutes. But I'll be back and I'll be around if anyone wants to do walking meditation or have a discussion in that noon to 2 o'clock window. I'll be available for that. And then we have the temple leaders and myself, Kathy and I have a Zoom meeting at 3 o'clock. So I'll be available as soon as I get back from PJCI, which is probably right about just before noon. I'll be available if someone wants to do meditation or a discussion, Buddhist studies. Otherwise, you're free to go home. And I'll be here Tuesday again, Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock for discussion, and 6 p.m. for meditation. And also, always available for independent study. If any of you want to do something on your own, you want to read this book, have me help you with it, that's always available. But if you haven't got a flu shot, I hope you pick it up. I think we'll probably have to sign up ahead of time for PJCI, but most of the pharmacies do it. I'm all for these inoculations. They all work good for me, so I recommend them to you. Thank you so much for attending this morning's service. I'm sorry I know it's hard to understand through the mask, but the masks are good for us. Thank you very much. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namu Amida Butsu.
Thank you for attending today's service. If you have not done so already, please burn incense at the conclusion of the service. And again, I'm going to get my flu shot. Thank you. Bye-bye.